everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue. Well, today I decided that we're going to have a little bit of a coffee chat. I have my coffee, you go grab your coffee too, and we're just going to talk. Now, I've thought about doing these types of chats in the past. There are other YouTubers that I really like that do them. They just have an occasional video where they just talk about a whole range of ideas and things that are going on, but it's just a personal chat between me and you. And so I thought today is a great day for that. And yes, we are going to talk about this. Y'all, the subject of this video is how old do you feel? And you would think you would get to a certain age, and when you have an issue like fair skin, and you know you sunburn in like 5 minutes or less, you would think you would take precautions, and especially after you have sunburned every single year for more than 50 years. But does that happen? No, it does not. It does not. And this actually is a burn on top of a burn, because not only did I do it once, I did it twice, just this week. So basically what happened was, I went out to the lake because we had a beautiful misty morning, which never happens here. It was kind of really cool and cold and a little rainy, and I ran out to the lake to do some trout fishing. It was so beautiful and fun, and I caught fish after fish. And after about 2 hours, the sun came out, and I thought, oh, it's no big deal. I'm about to leave. It'll be fine. It was not fine. It was so not fine. I blistered my whole face. My whole face. And this was like last Wednesday or Thursday. Well, my brother and his wife got use of a friend's cabin up in Cuchara, which is about an hour from here, hour and 15 minutes. Up in the beautiful mountains. If you've never been up that way, Walsenburg, La Veta, Cuchara, that scenic drive, Colorado 12, Highway 12, it is beautiful. So they were up there and they invited me up. They got a cabin, and this cabin has a private pond. So we spent most of the afternoon fishing. So we both got sunburned. And that is why my nose today looks like I have been dragged down the highway by my face, because that's what happens when we don't remember we have fair skin. Yeah, 50 years. Yeah, more than 50 years. I still can't get that right. And I'm going to be I am preparing this week, getting all the laundry done, getting everything done, because I'm about to go to the World Series of Poker and play. We've talked about this in the past, and I did a little video on how I came to play poker. And so I'm going to be going and staying for 8 days and playing several events and having a really good time. And I'm so looking forward to that. I hope y'all are doing some fun things this summer and getting out there. And the question I have for you today is, how old do you feel? This has come up in a couple of different conversations this week. And it's something that I've thought about quite a bit. And it's funny because I think most people, no matter their age, it's like once you get past about 40, that's how old you feel all the time. And it doesn't seem to matter what age you actually are. In fact, these days, if someone asks me what my age is, how old are you? Simple question, right? But it feels like I've suddenly been given this kind of pop quiz, and it's some sort of word math problem, like Johnny has 6 lemons and Sherry has 6 cherries, and how many watermelons does Martha have? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how old I am anymore. I can't even ask that question. I've got to write my birth date down and try and figure out what year it is, and then try and figure out how old I am. It sounds ridiculous, but you get to the point, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Because really age is just a number. And I've heard people say that my whole life and just thought, well, okay, whatever. But it's actually true. But yet there are still times that you can feel older than you truly are. And so I did some thinking this week about what are those instances. And what I really thought about was, it seems to be the times when we choose to shrink up our world. For example, I have a friend who's had hearing problems for a long time, and she's never gotten hearing aids because they're expensive, and she did fine. Well, it finally got to the point that she stopped going places. She stopped going to family events as much. She stopped going to large meetings and conferences and things like that because she couldn't hear. And she got tired of asking people to repeat themselves or trying to guess what they were saying. And here recently, she got some hearing aids, and she called me and said, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea all the things I was missing, and it has so opened up my world." And it is not until something like that happens where you realize how you've chosen to shrink down your world that you think, "Oh my goodness, I was acting 20 years older than I am." But it happens to all of us. It happened to my dad. Before he retired, he was having some vision issues. He had cataracts. And for years, he'd stopped reading. He wasn't studying like he always did. He'd stopped fishing because it's hard to see. You can't tie a hook on a fish line if you can't see very well. And so he'd stopped doing some of those things. And that's just what we do. We compensate. It's no big deal. I just won't go into this. It's not a big deal. But then you get that problem corrected. And after he retired, he got his cataracts corrected. And all of a sudden it was like, "Oh my goodness, look at all I've been missing." Now he reads voraciously, and he's right back into 20/20 vision. He went instantly back to 20/20 vision. And you don't realize how easy it is for you to choose to compress your life. Now, what's happened over the last few years is we've all done that. We stayed home, we didn't go to social events, and that was necessary. But now we can choose to open our worlds back up. I actually had someone say to me this week, because, hey, I tell everybody, "Hey, I'm getting to go to Vegas." So excited, right? So I tell everybody. And I actually had someone say to me, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm over 60. That's just not something I could really do and feel like I could do." And I'm like, well, I'm going to be over 60 before too long. I mean, I am. And what does that even mean? Does that mean you're afraid? Does that mean you don't feel safe? Does it mean it's too much hassle just to travel? Because, hey, that's a thing. Traveling is absolutely a hassle. What does that mean? And I think it makes me really aware of how easy it is for us to choose things that make us feel old. For us to choose things that limit our lives and our experiences. And most of the time, we don't even realize we're doing it. It just gets easier not to. It gets easier. And before you know it, we're doing less and less and less. I know some people who aren't too far from my age. They are in their 60s. They live completely closed-in lives. They don't go anywhere. They don't see anyone. They don't do anything. And it's not because they can't financially or physically. It's just, that's too big a hassle. I just won't. But look at what they're missing. There's a certain amount of joy in experiencing things. Even if it's something as simple as running up to the lake for the day. Every time I run up to the lake, while I'm there, I always think, why don't I do this more often? This is so fabulous. When I drove up to Cuchara, I've lived where I live in far northeastern New Mexico, 6 miles from the Colorado border, for almost 6 years now. I'd never even driven up there. And I'm driving up there and it's so beautiful. I'm thinking, why have I not driven up here? These little towns are so cute. I stopped and had a burger at the dog bar in Cuchara, which is famous. And it was just so pleasant and so beautiful. And I'm like, why don't I do these things more often? But it's because we get busy. We get established in our routine. And a lot of times our routines get smaller and smaller, and we get more and more closed in. So this week I just became really aware that I want to continue to expand what I'm doing. I don't want to stop doing things because they're a hassle. And travel is one of those. It's such a hassle. But I so enjoy being there. And that's why I've booked so many trips to Vegas this year. So I so enjoy being there. And once I'm there, I love it. Once I get back, I can't wait to go again. And so I really want to take advantage of that, because you never know when is going to be the last time. There are people each and every day that suddenly have a health issue and they become homebound. That suddenly have some sort of chronic issue or some sort of acute issue and they just drop dead. You never know when is going to be the last time. Now, one little update about Vegas is I am not going to be taking a lot of pictures. I'll take a few. I'm not taking my camera. One of the things that I have learned this past year, as I myself have been getting out and going places, I went to the Blue Ridge with my daughter, been to Vegas several times, I want to be able to be present and to enjoy things while I'm there. And when I'm behind a camera, it's not as enjoyable. I'm so worried about the camera angles or shooting film or taking pictures. By the way, shooting film just aged me. I realize that. No one shoots film anymore. But you know what I mean. I get so concerned about producing this product that I'm not present. And I want to be present. I want to create memories. So I would encourage you to get out there, stop feeling like you're old or that it's inconvenient. Go ahead and do it. Get that joy back in your life. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.